Joining us right now for a Kelly File exclusive is Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker. Governor, welcome.
Good evening. Good to be with you. Sorry about the circumstances, obviously.
Yeah, no, of course. Who do you blame for this right now?
Well, the individuals that responded, first and foremost, the individual who was involved in a crime and fled from officers, put us in a difficult position in the first place here. And then you had a number of people who decided that instead of taking it out through the normal legal process, weighing out their objections or whatever that might be, they decided to take it to the streets. And that's the problem. That's criminal activity, and that's going to not be accepted in the city of Milwaukee, in Milwaukee County, or in the state of Wisconsin.
How concerned are you about additional violence tonight?
Well, we're hoping that things have eased down. I just talked to my friend Sheriff David Clark, who made the request early on Sunday morning after a long, late Saturday night and early Sunday morning worth of the problems we saw in Milwaukee. I talked earlier to the police chief and to the mayor, and actually talked to the members of the Wisconsin National Guard, who I activated and we sent here to the Milwaukee area to be ready to support them. Things got a little bit quieter last night, although there were still disturbances. But our hope is tonight things will finally quiet down, thanks in large part to the leadership of many pastors and other church leaders in the Milwaukee community.
You know, Governor, the Black Lives Matter movement believes that this is racially motivated. But in this particular case, this was a black officer who shot a black victim. What role, in your view, does race play in all of this right now?
Well, I mean, I think the facts are being very clear in this case. In Wisconsin, we were the first state to have a law. We're one of the few states that currently has a law, that I think others will follow, that requires any time there's an officer-related shooting that leads to a death, an independent review is done by the state's Department of Justice. They're going to look at this case just like they would look at any other case, and independently investigate it and then give a report as to what happened. I think in the vast, vast majority of times when law enforcement, regardless of race, are doing what they're trained to do, which is to keep not only themselves but their communities safe, they're going to be supported. In the rare instances, the very, very rare instances we've seen around the country where they haven't done that, then obviously here or anywhere else they should be held accountable. But we have to respect and support law enforcement who are doing their best to try and keep us safe, whether it's here or anywhere else across the country.
You know, you think about what we're going through right now as a nation. I mean, not just in Milwaukee, but nationwide, we're seeing these problems and this backlash against police and the rise of Black Lives Matter. President Obama is an African American who has become the President of the United States, and when you look at the challenges that we have faced as a nation in terms of racial discord, you know, it feels as though right now, despite his success and hopefully all the strides that we have made, we seem to be going back to times that we haven't seen since the 1960s. Why is that?
Well, it's unfortunate. We need leadership at all levels. We need it from the president. We need it from elected officials. We need it from churches. We need it from local communities. And the frustrating part is when you see things like what happened the other night, and you see it in other communities across the nation, the biggest losers are people who live in those communities, the people who are striving for more economic opportunity, who are striving for better schools, who are striving for more businesses to find better employment. Well, when you see things like a fire or a riot, individuals are less likely to invest in those communities. Now, I hope that's not what happens here. I hope we can put a renewed focus and recognize the people in Sherman Park, this neighborhood that was affected. My kids were born just a few blocks away at St. Joseph's Hospital. There are good, decent people with great employers, great businesses, great churches in this area. I don't think it's a reflection of the people who live in that neighborhood. Unfortunately, a few have drawn attention to it, but we need people to stand up and say, we're not going to take this anymore. We're going to demand that people follow the law and follow the right ways to get people back to work and to get better schools in our nation.
Final question to you. Donald Trump will be in Wisconsin tomorrow. Do you anticipate being at his event?
Yeah, I hope to. My hope is that things have quieted down enough. Today I spent my day with the State Patrol, with the National Guard. Our State Patrol's here as well, with the Milwaukee Police Department. Of course, I just saw Sheriff Clark. And if things are calmed down so that I can shift gears tomorrow night, I hope to join him.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight, Governor Walker.